How's it going? My name is Peter. I'm the founder and owner of Idyllic Media. And in this video, we're going to go ahead and go through TikTok cost caps and how they can double or even triple your ROAS in a matter of 7 days. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Before we get too deep on cost caps, I just want to show you what the end result of actually implementing. Before we actually get into cost caps, I want to show you what the end result of actually implementing them correctly is. So you can actually see this is really from the past 30 days, and we spent around 20 on TikTok and brought back over 134. So this is one of the higher ROASs you'll see on TikTok, actually tracked in Triple Whale, not in the TikTok Ads Manager. And the only way we were able to achieve this is through cost caps. All right, so let's go ahead and hop right into the strategies. All right, so first and foremost, like, what are cost caps? Really simple. Cost caps are just putting a limit on how much you're willing to spend for the objective you're going for. So if you're going for leads and you want to spend $1 per lead, you put $1 in as a cost cap. If you're going for purchases for a e-commerce product, you put maybe $10 in for a $50 product to try to get the most out of each conversion. So that's all it is just putting a cap of the most amount you're willing to pay per conversion. All right. So cost caps work extremely well on TikTok. It's one of the most receptive platforms to cost caps that I've ever come across. So I'll break down for you how it actually works. All right. But before we get into that, we need to have some prereqs before we can even have cost caps work for us. Okay. So prereqs, there's a few of them here. The first is ideally you want to have at least 50 purchases in your ads manager, meaning across campaigns. You should just have 50 purchases somewhere in there at all, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing is you need to know what your current CPA is. Pretty easy. Again, if you're going for an e-commerce product purchase, you just look at your cost per purchase across all your campaigns, the average in TikTok. Really, really simple. So current CPA. And the last thing we need to know is what your ideal CPA is. So how much you are willing to spend, or how much you'd ideally like to spend per purchase. And then, of course, we need to know what your average order value is. Or if you're not in e-com, what the idea, like what the lead is worth to you, or what the email is worth to you, or whatever it is, what the app download is worth to you. You need to have a number on that. Okay. So we'll use e-commerce for an example because that's probably most people watching this. So let's just say your average order value is $50, right? Pretty simple. I would say 70% of brands actually fall into 50 in the $50 range. Okay. The next is your ideal cost per acquisition. So how much you ideally want to pay. Let's just say you ideally want to pay $10. That would be killer for you. So let's say you want to spend $10 for a purchase of $50, right? And let's say your current CPA is, let's just say it's 25. You're at a 2x, which is not bad. A lot of brands would actually be able to scale with that. But it can definitely be improved. Okay. So current CPA, this is what you're currently paying. Ideal CPA, this is the ideal amount you would be willing to pay for a $50 purchase. Okay. So super simple. So cost caps are quite easy to set up. Of course, you're just going to be duplicating some ad sets here. All you really need to do is build a few different ad sets that walk down, right? This is called cost cap walk down to your ideal price. So we start off with ad set 1, which should just be your best performing ad set. And of course, among all these ad sets, the creatives, so these are the creatives, these should all be the same, right? So this is like creative 1, creative 2, creative 3. The targeting should be the same. The copy should be the same. These should just be your top performing ad set. This is what these should be, okay? So with this ad set, let's just say we're going to go ahead and put your current CPA in. So this is your $25 CPA. And then we're going to skip to our last ad set. So this is going to be ad set 4. And this ad set is actually going to be at our ideal CPA, which is 10. And again, this is going to have the same creatives, the same targeting, the same copy, the same call to action, all that good stuff. Okay. So in between is where it gets interesting. And this is where you add in intervals walking down to your ideal CPA. So for ad set 2 and 3, we're just going to want to walk ourselves down. So there's no hard and fast rule on how much you walk down, what percent, what interval. It should just kind of make sense though, right? So in this case, you could do something like, you could do like 18 and then like 14 and a half down to 10, right? So, or you could do 20 or you could do 16, doesn't really matter. It just needs to be in the ballpark range of like what makes sense. So this is a $6 drop. This is like a $3.50 drop, right? And then we go down to the 10, right? You could also maybe try just doing 20, 15, 10, right? So an alternative outcome could just be doing 20, a $5 drop each one, 15, 10, right? Doesn't really matter. I just wanted to show you that just being that ballpark range, right? So when doing cost caps, you just want to walk down your cost cap into your ideal CPA from your high CPA. And that's it. It's really, really simple. So the question now is, okay, how long do I test this for and what should the budget be? Pretty simple. So usually 7 days at around at least, so 1 plus AOV per day per ad set. So meaning if you want to test this for 7 days, and each of these ad sets should be paying your AOV each day. So 50 a day, 50 a day, 50 a day, 50 a day. This is going to be the quickest way to get the most data. You can do lower if you need to, but I would recommend at least doing 1 AOV per day per ad set. And of course, making sure campaign budget optimization is off and that each ad set has its own budget to spend. So 50 a day, 50 a day, 50 a day, 50 a day, 7 days, and you'll have enough data by then. Okay. So one question that comes up sometimes is like, what happens if you have a huge gap? So this gap is like 2.5 to 1, like the ratio from like the gap you have to go through is like 2.5 to 1. So it's a decent jump, but let's say you have a 3 to 1, meaning you're currently spending $30 cost per acquisition and you want to get down to 10. What happens? So as you have a larger gap from what your current CPA is to your ideal CPA, you might need to add in more ad sets, or if you just have a larger numerical number. So let's say you want to go from 100 to 50, even though this is only a 1 to 2, right? This is 2 to 1. Even though this is only a 2 to 1, basically you just might need more ad sets. So instead of doing 4, you might need 6, just because you'll need to add in more intervals to walk down to this. So again, there's no hard and fast rule, but if you do have a bigger jump like 30 to 10, I might add in a 5th ad set in here that just has maybe, we're doing 30 to 10, maybe it would be 25, 20, 15, 10, and then maybe a 28 in there, right? If we're doing the 100 to 50, same thing. So you might just have to add in more intervals, but the rule stays the same. The first ad set should be your current CPA. The last should be your ideal. And then in between, you just want to walk it down. So go ahead, try the strategy out for yourself. I can almost guarantee that you'll see better results than you're currently seeing. Make sure you hit these prereqs, and then of course, add in the intervals that make sense to you. Test it for 7 days, 1 OV a day per ad set, and I'm quite sure you'll see an improvement. All right. So hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if any questions in the comments, and we'll talk soon.